This week will be my 36th wedding anniversary to my wife, Julie. In those years, I have made many, many mistakes. But as the years have rolled by, I think I've learned one thing, and that I thought I would share that with you today. It actually relates to facing up, but it begins by just a really simple explanation of three different ways to approach marriage, or any relationship for that matter. And I've tried all three of these. The first one is, I guess I would call it dominance and submission. The second one is compromise. And the third one is harmony. In my religious tradition, a lot was made about the beauty of submission. Like, it's so beautiful to submit. And as I tried this in marriage, I found that submission stinks. I mean, it's a terrible way to exist with another person. When one person submits to another, they're giving up their will, they're giving up what they want, what they wish, what they desire, because they care about the other person so much, or perhaps because the other person is forcing their way on them. Either way, it's kind of a lose-lose. I know in our marriage, you get into this whole martyr thing. Well, no, you just go ahead. And then the other person's like, oh, geez, okay, I get my way, but now you're sitting over there and you're not happy. And, or even worse, you pull rank. Now, again, in the Baptist tradition, it was spelled out that the man is the head of the household. That would be me. I realized pretty fast that didn't work very well in marriage. I can think of only one time that I just really laid down the law, played the man card. We were building our house in Sutter, and I was so tired. And Julie had gone out with me that day, and she was looking around at the place, and we had a whole acre. So she's thinking, okay, we'll get chickens and all these animals, and we'll get pygmy goats. And I said, pygmy goats? Why do you want pygmy goats? They're just so cute. And they're like, no, we don't need pygmy goats. Well, I really want pygmy goats. Well, no, we're not going to get pygmy goats. And it went on from there and just got more and more heated, like an arms race. And finally, I got so frustrated, and I was tired, and I was kind of worn out from the long hours building the house and stuff. But I'm making excuses now. I don't know if you noticed that. But I said, Julie, I'm the head of the house. We will not have pygmy goats. And she said, fine. But it wasn't fine. It was terrible. So playing the man card, like asserting your role or dominance to get your way, or even when you're playing this game of, polite gophers, polite chipmunks, that's it, right? On the old cartoons, when the two chipmunks would come on and say, oh, no, you go first. Oh, no, you go first. Oh, no, you go first. One person wins, one person loses, one person's on top, one submits. It's not a very satisfying way to exist. It just isn't. So you move from that into the second way to interact in a marriage, or again, in any relationship, and that is compromise. That makes more sense, right? I mean, you can't always have your way. We get it. We all have to give and take a little bit. And compromise is more reasonable, but it's not much more satisfying, because when you compromise, each person is a half loser. You kind of get a little of what you want, they get a little of what they want, and you meet in the middle, and no one's totally happy, but no one's really mad, and you're able to go on. And sometimes that's the best you can do. So there's nothing wrong with compromise, but it's not really that exciting. It's almost like a ceasefire between two countries. Okay, we're not bombing each other when we've each agreed to the terms of this peace treaty. but it's not really a very satisfying way to exist together. So compromise isn't all that satisfying. There's a way to be together that has taken me way too long to figure out, and I would be lying to you if I said that I now live by it without fail, without flaw. No, that's not true. It's hard. What I'm about to describe is hard, but at least I know what I'm aiming for. This is the bullseye, and it's harmony. That's the third way to exist with another person. Harmony means a lot to me as a musician because when two notes are in harmony, their wavelengths combine in a way that produces this glorious set of overtones, and it's like we had a band director once that said, when you get it right, you can hear the angels singing with you. Well, it's just that glorious coming together of two unique notes that are tuned to each other in harmony, and the combination of the two is far beyond the beauty of either of them alone. But when you harmonize with another person or with another player, and whether it's, let's say, a French horn with an oboe or something like that, the oboe sound is very different from a French horn. But when two notes come together in harmony, they blend, and there's this beautiful synergy of the two. Now, when you harmonize, there's no compromise. The oboe is being 100% oboe. The French horn is being 100% French horn. And so this applying to marriage, like with Julie, well, that's the goal. My goal is to find a way to let Julie be authentically 100% undiluted Julie, and for me to be 100% undiluted, authentic Maury, and to bring our notes together, bring our lives together in a way, find a way to be ourselves together. Now, yes, that's easier said than done, but it can be done. And yeah, it takes some compromise, and sometimes, somebody will have to submit. So it's not like these lower levels go away, but the goal for me is not submission or compromise. It is to help us together to find a way so that I can fully express who I am, Julie can fully express who she is, and we find a way to do that together. Now, that may sound a little bit, like idealistic or something like that, but it is possible. And every now and then we get that in tune. In fact, I would say, we have had, believe me, we have had our, sessions of conflict. We've had our sessions of compromise. We've had some rough patches in our marriage. But I'm honest when I say that most of the time now, we live in harmony. I've found a way to let Julie be herself, and she's understood how to let me be myself. And it's not like we separate. It's not like I go over in my corner and she goes over in her corner. We do it together. We found our way to be ourselves together, and that's the goal. Now, just a couple of applications of this. One of them is to what's going on in our nation right now. You don't have to be a genius to see that, for the most part, what's going on in our nation is dominance and submission. One person trying to force the other person to get their way. And so the right is trying to force their will on the left. And the left, I realize each side would say, I'm not doing that. But I mean, I've been on both sides of this. I was once a very conservative person, and now I'm a pretty dang liberal person. And I can see, even, now that I really resonate more with the liberal sort of viewpoint, sometimes I go to, and I've been to some of the rallies and different things, and I hear people talk, and I think, ooh, that just strikes me the wrong way, because it sounds like you don't like being dominated, so you want to dominate them. I mean, it's like, well, that's not really a solution. If you're going to be in harmony with someone else, The very most important thing is to learn to listen. Listening is how all harmony begins. You have to really try to understand the other person, to hear their perspective, to really get in their skin and understand the note they're playing so that you can find how your note can be with that note in a harmonic way. And you do have to do some adjusting, but it's not the same as compromise. It's more like adjusting. Just okay, I need to adjust this way, that way, but I'm still me, you still you. Let's be ourselves together. I think that's the only hope for us, and I don't know if there is any hope for us because we're not very darn good at that as a species. But I do know that's the only way we're going to find our way out of this mess is by finding a way to be ourselves together. Now, this leads into the next thing because, as I told you, this relates to facing up. And remember, the key to facing up is letting go of dogma, letting go of your personal story as the foundation of your life, and learning to express your life through story. So my choice of living my existence is grounded in just my existence. I am, therefore I am. I mean, I look at my life, my being, and I say, wow, I'm in. And, I'm try to resist reviewing everything with you, but, wonder and acceptance and compassion and saying yes to life and not being caught up at the story level where I tell a story that for me is not just an expression of me. It's not the note that I play. It's the foundation. It is my life. And so when you do that, your story becomes dogma. And all of your hope turns into war, and all of your love becomes tribalism because it's all about your story and getting them to agree with you. And that throws you into this dominant submission zone. And that's kind of where we are now. I mean, the MAGA story, or I'll just say that, Trump's idea of what needs to happen in this nation, there's no listening involved. It's he knows, and anyone who doesn't agree is going to get run over. And to be fair, I think that is partly a response to when the left had more power, really pushing the DEI and all of that pushing it so hard that it just like was, you will submit to this. Again, not listening, not trying to find a way to be together, but forcing my story on you. This is not an easy thing. Obviously, it's not an easy thing in marriage, and it sure isn't an easy thing as a nation. But I am convinced of one thing and that is that all harmony, all real harmony starts with listening. So I encourage you to release your foundational story. Quit pretending like whatever story you have told about yourself or this country or whatever is the truth, capital T. It is not reality, capital R. It is an expression of yourself, but it is not the foundation of yourself. And so when you can sort of let go of that idea that my story, I'm defending the truth, and so I go to war with the infidels, and I find my tribe, and we team up and we attack them, and once you start going down that road, you're stuck at the very most ugly level of interaction with other people. That level where we're relating to each other on the basis of dominance and submission. So I guess the challenge, the bullseye, the thing that I put out there for you, and I put it out there for myself, is to aim for harmony. I even think I'm going to change the word kindness in my charts and stuff to harmony because I really like it. Compassion and harmony. I look at you, I see that you have your agenda, I see that you're different than me, but I don't interpret that as an attack. I have compassion for you, and I look for a way to harmonize with you. So again, 3 levels of relationship: dominance and submission, which stinks; compromise, which is better but not very satisfying; and harmony, which is really sweet, whether it's in marriage or as an American or in music, or shoot, you could even say like a sports team. When they're working together, they're harmonizing. Each person they've found a way to like let each person shine in their unique way and do it together. It's exciting. It really is. And it's a worthy bullseye. So let's just harmonize.